Hello everyone and welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're going to be taking a look at another discontinued model from Victorinox, and this is one from the 58mm line, and we're going to be taking a look today at the 58mm Cavalier. Now Cavalier did share its name with a 74mm design as well, but the tools are very much different. So of course 58mm closed length, then that's not including the keyring. So we have that at 2.3 inches closed length. We have the standard red Cellidor scales, and I will say I picked this one up off the secondary market and it's in absolutely wonderful condition. Cellidor's only a little bit scratched up on the front and the rear, but that's probably from being in a drawer. Unfortunately though, it didn't come with a box, which is a bit of a shame, because I would like to see a box with a... Honestly, this is nearly new old stock. Would have loved to have seen a box with that. But we do have the inlaid Victorinox shield on there, silver inlay on the red Cellidor. Very classic design, which you see on pretty much every Swiss Army knife. We have a keyring on this particular model, so it is meant for your keys. The smaller of the keyrings, which is a really nice size. So bit of a tip that I like to share with people, I do actually change out the keyrings on the larger models for ones from the 58mm line. I just think they're a much more manageable size, and this really sort of goes on a keyring rather than being the keyring, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't add keys to this, I would add this to a bunch of keys. We also have the tweezers on the outside as well. Wonderful set of tweezers, they're absolutely fantastic. These little, great for pulling out splinters, that sort of thing. They just slot very nicely in front of the knife. And on the back there we also get the toothpick. So the nice little ridge there that's holding the toothpick in, stopping it falling out. And it sort of, I'm going to say clips in, but you can just sort of feel the resistance right at the end there where it sort of snaps into place. But let's take a look at the tools. So on the very front layer then, quite unusual for Victorinox, but you get a cuticle pusher with a tang stamp on it as well, which is very sort of strange. But we've got the 4-line tang stamp, so we've got Victorinox, Switzerland, stainless, and then Rossfry. Of course you've got the nail nick on there, so the cuticle pusher would be obviously to push your cuticles back, whatever you want to do that with. I generally never really bother with doing that sort of thing. It's also called the manicure tool some places, which you can use to clean out your nails like this if that's what you want to do. Got the cat's eye nail nick on there and a nice polished finish on that tool. Behind that then you have the flathead screwdriver. Now there is a little bit of a variation between these. Some models have the markings on there of a rule, so you can have up to 3 centimeters. This one doesn't appear to have those. It doesn't look like it's rubbed off or anything, it just looks like they weren't sort of put on this knife. But I know there was a variation that included them, and then this model obviously that didn't have them. So it just seemed a bit wasted really just to have a full tool with a screwdriver point on the end. But you can see there, I've seen some use. There's a little bit of scratches, maybe that's where it's going in and out of the channel, but very, very minor. Standard Victorinox finish then with the nail nick. Very sort of light pulls on these, but that's standard again for a 58mm. They're about a 4 to a 5 at max, but they do sort of have a nice walk and talk to them, and they snap open really well. And then on the back of that you get the nail file and then sort of the nail cleaner. So this is what I would generally use to clean your nails, sort of rub behind your nails like that. Nice nail file, something I like to have on all my Swiss Army knives. I wish some of the newer models they'd bring out where they'd update them and maybe change the pen blade to a nail file, and then maybe take off the can opener and change it for that new parcel tool they've been putting on the companion. I think that would be a really cool upgrade for tools. But yeah, love having a nail file on my Swiss Army knives. I think they're really useful for firing off sharp bits. Quite a lot of the times I'll sort of break a nail if I'm opening like a Sheffield made knife with a strong pull. But very useful, enjoy having a nail file on my Swiss Army knives. And then on the back we have a nice little pair of scissors. Something that's standard on pretty much I'm going to say nearly every Victorinox 58mm. There's very few that don't have the scissors. Maybe the Rally being the only one in production at the moment, I think, which replaces the scissors with the combo tool. But great for use around the office. Classic leaf spring design. Of course, this is a pinned style. Scissors, very sort of usable style as well. They're only about 1.5 inches in full length. Maybe a tad over if you measure them this way, but very usable for little bits of thread, any sort of small job you've got to use. I generally use mine for, I know, cutting off chip bit of a nail, or any sort of, like, say you cut yourself and there's a flap of skin and you cut it off instead of peeling it over, whatever you want to do. But that's generally what I use mine for. Great for an office environment as well. And then behind them we are left with the final tool, which is the little main blade. And you can tell this is an older one because the main blade actually opens to the side with the keyring. And now they did change that because it just kind of doesn't make sense having, say it's on your keys and then your keys are dangling where you're trying to use the knife. So they did move it to this side, the keyring. But then one of the things I really like, which they wish do some more, is on the Midnight Manager they've actually put the keyring the opposite end to the knife blade, which I think is an excellent idea. Just sort of keeps it out your way, having the keys at the back here so you can use the blade as you would normal. But again, we get a tang stamp on this one, Victorinox Switzerland stainless rust free, or rust free, just means rust free or stainless. Nice little action on that. You can see we've got the cat's eye nail nick on that classic Victorinox finish. You can really see that there, like the polished tumble finish. We have factory edge. This one doesn't look like it's been used at all to cut anything. Very uniform all the way around, as pretty much as you come to expect from Victorinox. I know I pretty much expect perfection when I'm buying a Swiss Army knife. Nice little snap on the open and the close, but again, we're looking at maximum of a 5, and that's being quite generous. I'd say it's probably more like a 4. But it's only a little tiny blade. You're not going to be using it for hard use. Plus, if you put your finger under there, it's not going to close on you because you're using your finger as a lock. Keep the blade open. But overall, really nice little pattern. I'm glad to have this one in my collection, slowly filling out these 58mm designs. So once again, this is the Cavalier. Model number for that for Europe is 0.6333, and the model number for USA was 53951. I really hope you enjoyed this review. Please be sure to like, subscribe and ring that bell for notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.